Imagine paying $6 for a single piece of fruit, an unusual sight in the supermarket aisles, but a reality when it comes to mangosteen. This deep purple tropical treasure isn't just another exotic snack, it's become a viral sensation on TikTok, making it one of the most sought-after and expensive fruits in the world. But what is behind this hefty price tag? Is it just hype fueled by social media trends? Or is there a complex web of factors that turn mangosteen into a rare luxury? Price puzzle and demand. Mangosteen's high price is impossible to ignore, especially when a single fruit can cost $6 or more in the United States. In India, the world's largest producer, a kilogram sells for about $4, but that simple price comparison barely scratches the surface. The fruit's appeal exploded on social media, with over 44 million posts tagged #mangosteenfruit on TikTok, driving curiosity and pushing demand to new heights. Yet, this sudden surge in popularity only raises more questions. Why does this fruit carry such a hefty price, and what exactly makes it such a coveted treat? The rise in demand isn't just a passing trend. Vendors in places like New York City have been selling mangosteen for decades, even when it was illegal to import from Asia. Back then, prices could soar to an astonishing $1,200 per kilogram, reflecting how rare and controlled the supply was. Today, even with import restrictions eased, some sellers still charge premium prices, sometimes as high as $78 per kilogram. Clearly, the price tag reflects more than just hype. It hints at deeper causes rooted in the fruit's rarity and the challenges surrounding it. Behind the scenes, farmers and sellers are racing to meet this soaring demand with limited resources. In India, nurseries are selling saplings fast as growers clear out other crops like coconuts to plant more mangosteen trees. Yet, despite this effort, the fruit remains hard to obtain and far from mass-produced. Growing such a unique fruit is no simple task, especially when nature itself sets strict boundaries on where and how it can flourish. Farming challenges and growth cycle. Mangosteen trees demand very specific conditions to thrive. Warm tropical climates with high humidity and slightly acidic soil are essential. This restricts their cultivation mainly to South and Southeast Asia, limiting the regions that can reliably produce the fruit. The trees also take a long time to mature. It can be up to 10 years before a tree bears its first harvestable fruit. This slow growth cycle means farmers must invest years before seeing any return, making mangosteen farming a long-term and often risky business. The unpredictability of the trees only adds to the challenge. Good harvests are followed by lean years, as trees tend to produce heavily one season and less so the next. This natural cycle makes planting difficult and can lead to inconsistent supply. Farmers must be patient and persistent, knowing that even the best care and ideal conditions cannot guarantee steady yields year after year. Despite these hurdles, many are convinced that the fruit's profitability justifies the wait. This pressure has pushed farmers to focus more seriously on mangosteen cultivation, even at the expense of cutting down other crops that might have offered steadier income. At a nursery in South India, for example, all coconut trees have been replaced with mangosteen saplings, which now represent half of the farm's profits. Part of what makes growing mangosteen so difficult stems from legal and logistical barriers that have shaped its international availability and cost, import restrictions, and legal hurdles. For decades, mangosteen wasn't officially allowed into the United States from Asia due to concerns over agricultural pests like the Asian fruit fly. The United States Department of Agriculture enforced a strict import ban until 2007, restricting mangosteen imports to fruits grown only in Central America and the Caribbean. This ban kept supply limited and prices sky-high in American markets, where fruit vendors had to rely on smuggled or otherwise unofficial sources to satisfy local demand. Even after the ban was lifted, the legacy of restriction lingers. Bringing mangosteen into the United States involves stringent procedures, including mandatory irradiation treatments designed to eliminate harmful bacteria and insects. This process requires shipping fruit either to local irradiation facilities or sometimes to sites within the United States itself, adding significant costs and delays. These extra steps make the fruit's journey from farm to table both complicated and expensive, further inflating the price consumers pay. Vendors who manage to import mangosteen legally still face challenges balancing quality and supply. Recent wholesale prices in India hover around $4 per kilogram for mangosteens that can endure transport, but once air freight, irradiation, and distribution costs are included, the expense multiplies. Such complexity extends all the way to harvest and quality control, where every fruit's value is meticulously managed to meet expectations. Speaking of expectations, make sure you like and subscribe so you can expect more similar videos. Harvesting and quality control. Harvesting mangosteen is a delicate and demanding process that directly influences the fruit's price and reputation. Pickers often climb trees that reach up to 40 feet high, racing against time to find perfectly ripe fruit before it falls and spoils. First-grade mangosteens measure between 4 and 8 centimeters in diameter, with a deep purple or nearly black outer shell revealing bright white juicy segments inside. The challenge lies in selecting only those fruit that meet strict quality standards, as any mishandling can cause bruises or drops, ruining the prized sweet and tangy flavor. Workers rotate quickly through sections of the grove to maintain control over fruit quality and prevent ripe mangosteens from falling unnoticed. When a fruit falls to the ground, it rapidly loses its desirable taste and texture, often becoming too hard or spoiled to sell. Even a single piece that dropped days earlier will be discarded, as vendors and consumers expect nothing less than impeccable quality. This intense harvesting care ensures the fruit reaches the market in prime condition, but it also adds to labor costs and the final retail price. The harvested crop is divided according to its destination, influencing which fruits are picked and sold in different markets. About 1/3 is reserved for direct customers visiting the farm, who receive the darkest and ripest mangosteens to eat immediately. Even after these harvesting efforts, the journey of mangosteen through the supply chain reveals additional burdens that push its cost ever higher. Supply chain costs and irradiation. Shipping mangosteen from tropical farms to global markets comes with hefty expenses that few other fruits encounter. Air freight is often the preferred method, yet it is about 5 times more expensive than ground transportation. This premium cost is necessary because mangosteen is highly perishable. It can spoil within days if not carefully handled, forcing rapid transit and refrigerated storage. Every step of this journey adds layers of expense that are ultimately reflected in the fruit's steep retail price. Beyond transportation, mangosteen destined for countries like the United States must undergo irradiation, a safety treatment exposing the fruit to ionizing radiation to eliminate harmful bacteria and pests. This procedure requires the fruit to be shipped to approved irradiation facilities, sometimes far from the farm, introducing additional shipping legs and handling fees. Irradiation is essential to meet import regulations, but it is costly and time-consuming, adding to the logistical complexities faced by growers and suppliers. These combined costs make mangosteen less of a common grocery item and more of a luxury treat for many consumers. In the United States, where about 57% of fruit buyers are curious about exotic varieties, mangosteen remains a specialty fruit, purchased occasionally rather than regularly. This intricate network of cultivation, harvesting, regulation, and distribution sets the stage for why global demand is transforming the mangosteen market in surprising ways. Global popularity and market growth. Mangosteen's rise from a niche tropical fruit to an international delicacy reflects a rapidly expanding global market hungry for exotic flavors. In countries like the United States, more than half of fruit consumers express interest in trying unusual fruits, creating fertile ground for mangosteen's popularity to grow. This demand surge has motivated farmers in places like South India to clear entire farms of other crops in favor of planting more mangosteen trees, which now make up half of some farms' profits. What was once a modest family business has become a serious commercial venture because the fruit offers promising returns despite its long cultivation cycle. However, growing mangosteen for a global market is not without its risks. Production is cyclical, If a tree yields a heavy crop one year, it generally produces fewer fruit the next, making revenue unpredictable. Last year, one prominent family farm made roughly 10 million rupees in revenue, but this year they expect only a third of that. Still, the potential rewards and the fruit's soaring price encourage continued investment, even as challenges like climate sensitivity and crop inconsistency persist. Many farmers see mangosteen as a rare opportunity that justifies the uncertainty. The global market for mangosteen is projected to grow at an annual rate of about 3.6%, potentially reaching $658 million by 2030. This rapid expansion contrasts sharply with the fruit's quiet history, when it was rarely seen outside of local communities. Mangosteen's steep price is the result of a perfect storm: rare flavor, growing demand, farming challenges, and complex logistics. From the heights of exotic fruit markets to the hands of curious TikTok viewers, this fruit's journey is as fascinating as its taste. If you enjoyed unraveling the story behind mangosteen, be sure to like and subscribe for more deep dives into the world's most intriguing foods.